Hey guys, what's with me, Sarah? Welcome back to my channel. And before we get started with today's video, remember to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And without further ado, let's get on with the video. Today's video is going to be episode 2 of TBR Takedown, which is a series on my channel where I read the books on my physical TBR. And we are going to be starting off with Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes. I have already started this. I am on page 18, which is chapter 3. And I started this last night. This is a sci-fi horror, and it's giving like aliens vibes. And I love those movies. Aliens is one of my favorite movies of all time. So that's the vibes it's giving so far. Not much has happened, but what we know is our main character, Claire, she always volunteers to go on these trips in space where a few people go and they just go around and make sure everything's in order. And nobody wants to do this job because you're gone for like 18 months and it's just the few people on that ship, and everyone doesn't want to do this job because they want to see their families and people. She does not like people. She much prefers to be out in space alone with her thoughts and just by herself. So she always volunteers for this, but I'm not quite sure why, but this has to be her last time doing this. So she really doesn't want this trip to end, but they have received a distress call, like a sign from another ship or something from on an old emergency channel that is no longer used. They use a different channel, but they picked up a signal there, and so she is technically in charge of this group, and so she says that they are going to go and see what it is and see if people need help, because she doesn't mind if it takes them an extra little while, because she is quite content to stay out there as long as possible. But that is what's happened so far, and I'm going to go continue reading. I'm on page 64 of Dead Silence, and basically there are then and now timelines, and in the now timeline, our main character, Claire, is being interrogated because the group that she set off with, she is the only one that returned, and they are saying that it is her fault, that she's the one who killed the other people, and that she's just making everything up when she's trying to say there was something else there. And so yeah, they don't believe her, and that's frustrating to read about because they think she's just after money. It makes no sense. But that is what I have read so far, and I am enjoying it. But the space police is what I'm calling them. They need to stop being jerks and actually listen to what she's saying, because their conclusion doesn't make any sense. Like, and they're saying that she's crazy, and it's just frustrating. So, space police, get it together and actually go solve what happened out there. And that is my update. I got my haircut yesterday, but you've already seen this at this point. I am going to be posting my July TBR before this video, so you're going to see that this already, and it's already on my Instagram, and yeah. But I am on page, I forgot what page I'm on. I just looked at it. 126 of Dead Silence, and I have a theory because of some things that were mentioned. I think it might be giving Bird Box vibes. I could be wrong, and I don't want to say what exactly is making me think that. If you've read the book, then you probably know. But yeah, I don't want to say anything spoilery, and I'm not too sure. But if that's the road it's going down, I am very much here for it. So let's go continue reading. I finished Dead Silence, and I give this book 5 stars. I loved it. It was so... it was just incredible, and I loved finding out what was happening, and I just had the best time. I cannot recommend this book enough. If you have not read this book and this seems like your kind of thing, go pick this book up immediately. It is definitely worth the read. And next we are going to read Hooked on You by Nikki Ash. This is a romance. It is a single dad, single mom nanny romance. And that's really all I know. I am excited to get to this one. And let's go get reading. I'm on page 69 of Hooked on You, and I am really enjoying it. So basically, this book starts off with our main male character, Ryder. His wife at the time decides to leave him because she doesn't want to be around their daughter anymore, who is a couple months old, and she doesn't want to look after her or deal with all of her, crying or any of that. And she says that this isn't what she wanted in life, even though she baby trapped him twice. She said she was on birth control and she wasn't, and she messed with his condoms. And then when her first pregnancy ended in a miscarriage, she did all that again to end up with their daughter. And then she just says it was a mistake, and if she could go back and change things, she would. And she is just horrible. So that is the prologue. And then in present day, well, actually, there's a little bit of some time jumps, like a month here and a month there. But our main two characters, they meet because our main female character, she needs a job. She is leaving her husband and she needs a job. So she overhears this woman talking about needing someone in childcare, and she has a background with that. So she immediately is like, yes, I want the job. And so she goes and interviews and gets the job, and she looks after his daughter, like at this corporate childcare center. And then they get to know each other from when he drops her off and picks her up. And then he finds out that her and her daughter are actually homeless and living out of their car. And so he invites them to go stay at his place. So right now they are at his place, which is a mansion, and they are going to be spending the night there. And that is what has happened so far. I am loving it. Our main characters are incredible, as well as their daughters. And I am very excited to continue reading. So let's go do just that. Oh my God, my eye is switching. Let's go get reading. I'm on page 199, and this book is just the best. I'm still having the absolute best time with it. It is so cute and sweet. And basically what has happened is he has hired her as his live-in nanny, and she is obviously hesitant around men, especially men with money, because her ex was horrible. And so when he is giving her gifts for Mother's Day, and also her own car, that's like a really expensive car, and all this stuff, and she is nervous and hesitant because she thinks it's too good to be true, because her last experience with stuff like this was too good to be true. But these two are so good together. I love these two so much, and their kids are incredible. They are the best parents ever. They love their kids with all their heart, and I am having the best time. They are really, really compatible and have really good chemistry. And I'm just rooting for these two and for this family, like them to become a family. And like they already are a family, and I'm just loving this book. Let's go continue reading. I finished Hooked on You. I gave it 5 stars. I adored this book so, so much. And there was a twist that I did see coming as soon as, like, the thing was introduced. As soon as it was introduced, I don't know how to explain this without, so I'm just going to say there was a twist, but I saw it coming. But I absolutely loved this book so much, and I cannot recommend this enough. If you love single parent romance, definitely pick this one up. It is fantastic. The writing was phenomenal, and I love these characters, and I'm not ready to move on from this book. But the next book we are going to be reading is Wings of Starlight by Allison Saft. This is a YA romantasy, I'm pretty sure. And it is like in the Tinkerbell universe. This is kind of like a prequel to Tinkerbell. It follows the queen from Tinkerbell, Clarion, and also Mallory. And I think it's their romance and just what happened to them when they were younger. And I am very excited to go read that, so let's get reading. I'm on page 74, and what has happened so far is we are following Clarion. She is a princess. She is about to be queen. Her coronation is coming up really soon, and she doesn't want to be queen because she's supposed to be thinking that she's above everyone and not interacting with the regular people. So, well, fairies and stuff, because she is really kind and wants to help people and talk to people and, just be like everyone else. And she's not supposed to, so that's hard. But also, she's always been intrigued by the winter woods because there's like 4 different seasons. There's spring, summer, fall, and winter, and spring, summer, and fall are all like get along and they all work together. But then winter is like separate and they have nothing to do with winter because winter's apparently bad, and she doesn't understand why. No one's willing to tell her. So she ends up going to the border between spring and winter, and she actually sees this guy there, and his name is Mallory, and she ends up talking to him, and that is what has happened so far. I am enjoying it, but I'm not loving it. Like, I'm liking it, not loving it, and it's pretty slow paced in my opinion. I mean, I'm only on page 74, but I kind of feel like it's been, I don't want to say dragging on, but kind of. It's good though, but yeah, I'm just not finding it fast paced, and I'm gonna go continue reading. I'm on page 196 and I'm still enjoying it, but it's still going kind of slow. And I think this would make a really good movie. So Disney, make this into a movie. I would definitely watch this as a movie. I think I would enjoy it more than as a book, but I'm still enjoying it. And I would recommend this if you are interested in it. Obviously, I'm not finished, but I'm enjoying it. It's just slow, so keep that in mind. But I'm going to go continue reading. I finished Wings of Starlight. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, and I just had a great time. This is definitely more of a fantasy book and not a romantasy. I thought it was romantasy, but there is a romance in it. But it is definitely fantasy. But I had a really good time, and I enjoyed both of our main characters and just all the characters. I really thought that the second half like picked up and was more like intense and intriguing, and I did know obviously how it ends because Tinkerbell, if you've seen the movies, then you know the main thing about the seasons, so you know how it's gonna end. And like, it was sad. It was still really sad even knowing how it ends, but I really enjoyed it and I would recommend it. Next, we are going to be reading The Stowaway by James S. Murray and Darren Wearmouth. This is a thriller. It is set on a cruise ship. Basically, it follows this woman who was on the jury for this horrible case about this serial killer, and she decided to let him go, to set him free. And now she's on this cruise ship and the same kind of things are happening. And she is the only, like, one of only 12 people who are on that jury who has inside knowledge to that case. So she's trying to figure out, like, is this a copycat? Is this the person she set free? And she is trying to figure out what is going on and stop them. And it sounds so good. And I am very excited. Let's go get reading. I'm on page 90 of The Stowaway, and so far I'm really liking it. It has 5-star potential, but as of right now, it's not giving me the 5-star feels, but I'm still having a fantastic time with it. Basically, this follows Maria mostly. She's our main character, but we also see some things about other characters. And so she was on this jury for this horrible case about this serial killer, and then she decided to let him go and find him innocent, and the public finds out that it was her decision. So she's starting to get like threats and horrible messages, and so eventually, I think this is like a year later, around a year later, she decides to go on this cruise with her family, with her 2 kids and her boyfriend. And they are on this like really luxury cruise, and there has been a dead body has been found. Well, more like a head, just a decapitated head. And that is what has happened so far, and that Maria has found out that there was that body, that head, found in the in one of the rooms, and she knows that that is similar to, like, that is the same as the killer that she was on the jury for the trial. And so she's starting to panic, and she's like, oh no, is this like the guy that I set free, or is this a copycat, or is this a complete coincidence, or just, she's starting to freak out. And I mean, who wouldn't if you found out there was a decapitated head in one of the rooms on your cruise ship? But that is what I've read so far. Loving it. Let's go continue reading. I finished The Stowaway. I loved this book. I gave it 4.5 stars. There was a twist at the end, and there was 2 twists actually, and I was just shocked by both, but especially the twist that didn't have to do with the killer. I was so shocked, and it was just a twist I did not see coming, either of them, and I loved this book so much. I highly recommend it if you think this sounds something like the kind of book what am I trying to say here? If this sounds like a book that you'd be interested in, I definitely recommend picking it up. It is so good. And that is going to be it for this reading vlog. If you made it this far, please leave how about a boat emoji? Because this takes place on a cruise ship. And before you go, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe and turn on post notifications, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.